Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I'm talking about Halloween Nights Tales of Autumn Fright, edited by Bram Stoker, nominee James A. Moore, cover by Dan Brereton. This is from Rotten Jack Press. I like that little logo. That's very nice. As you might guess, this is a collection of short stories, all based around autumn and Halloween. Fantastic lineup of authors. Bracken McLeod. We've got a story co-written by Christopher Golden and Brian Keene. Another one by Dan Brereton and James Moore. And then one just by James Moore. V. Castro. What do we got? Jeff Strand, Richard Chismar and Billy Chismar, Mary San Giovanni, Hilary Monahan, Eric Nunnally, Trisha J. Woldridge. Let's see, I skipped someone. Sherry Sebastian Gabriel, John McIlveen. McIlveen? All right, I think I covered everyone. So, right off the bat, I'm going to contradict myself. Earlier in my series of reviews for these Halloween books that I'm reading, I said that it's rare. Maybe it's not a contradiction. I said it's rare, very, very rare, that a short story collection, whether an anthology or a single author collection, would get 5 out of 5 stars. And I've already contradicted myself once about that, and now I'm contradicting myself again because I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Spoilers for the beginning of the video. 5 out of 5. This collection, these stories are fantastic. Plus, we get Dan Brereton illustrations mixed throughout the book. But we start off, the very first story, The Trial of Abigail Pierce, is a period piece witch hunting story, and really, really interesting. Written, presented in an artistic way. Not sure the best way to say it. It's just not straight. I don't know. I can show you a page, I suppose. Just a quick flash so I don't spoil anything. Trying to find a good one. Oh, here we go. All right, so that's how some of it is presented. You know what I'm saying? Not just straight lines, but hopefully you could see that. This reminded me of a little bit of the, oh goodness, why did I even start this sentence when I can't finish it? The Reckoning is the movie, I believe. I can see it right over there. Is that the one? The witch hunting movie by the director of Dog Soldiers and The Descent. And I can't believe I can't think of his name, which is horrible. Fantastic director. But anyway, he did a movie called The Reckoning, and there were similarities, just sort of in the witch hunting thing, between that movie and The Trial of Abigail Pierce. It reminded me of that. I'm not going to make it. The Christopher Golden, Brian Keene story is fine. I mean, it's a well-written story with, a twist. A lot of these, since it's short stories, are going to have sort of a twist. Kettle by Dan Brereton and James A. Moore is a nice sort of campfire. There are kids sleeping out in a tent and telling ghost stories, and then decide they're going to go and find a ghost. And then the follow-up story by James A. Moore, The Cemetery on Blackwell Road, very, very good story, and it ties in a little bit, or at least tangentially ties into the previous story. Marigolds for Flesh by V. Castro. Fantastic story. I'm a huge fan of V. Castro. And this was a really, really interesting. I'm not going to get into details of all the stories. Really, really interesting take on some Halloween traditions. Let's see. Mr. Flexo Discontinued. Great title by Sari Sebastian Gabriel's really interesting story. I'm not going to tell you anything at all about it. My favorite Halloween memory by Jeff Strand is, I want to say typical Jeff Strand, which in a way it is, but that sounds almost negative, which I don't mean it to. It's absolutely a Jeff Strand story. If I didn't know he was the author of it, I would know he was the author of it. By reading it, it's that sort of just first person, someone talking. But it's a lot of fun. It's really, really a fun Jeff Strand story. The Richard Chizmar, Billy Chizmar, Staines is good. Hannah by Mary Sangiovanni. I really, really liked this story a lot. And part of that was there are certain points in the story where horrific things are just casually tossed out there. I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but just certain, like, as the story's being told, there's just this sort of casual air at certain points where things are said, and it's like, holy, wow, that's not something one would mention casually, I would think. Night Boy by Eric Nunnally. Really, really liked this story, so much so that I immediately went to Amazon and added 3 Eric Nunnally books to my wish list that I'm going to have to pick up. Really, really liked it. All right, I haven't talked about all of them. Just a flavor, a little touch. But, so, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. As always, I think I say this every time I talk about a short story collection. I don't want to talk too much about the stories themselves because I don't want to give anything away. But just a fantastic collection. I don't know what Mr. Moore had to work with, what he rejected, or if I don't know if this could have been an all invitation anthology. It doesn't say. I'm just speculating at this point because, man, every story in here is a banger, as the kids would say. I can't recommend this enough for not just your Halloween reading, but year round. I mean, they're just great, great stories. So that's it. It's Halloween Nights, Tales of Autumn Fright, edited by James A. Moore. Let's see, real quick, see if I can find another picture just to flash up. I love Dan Brereton. There we go. Love his artwork. Yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely a great, great anthology. Excuse me. So, okay, I don't expect you to remember, but I did name every author that's in here. Do you have a favorite? Is there an author that I mentioned who piqued your interest? You're like, yeah, this book sounds fun. Oh, they're in here? I may have to check it out. That's my question for this video. As far as me, my answer to my own question, I didn't even need to see a list of the authors. I think when I grabbed this, put it on my wish list, I just knew that James A. Moore was editing, Dan Brereton was doing the artwork. I was in. But if I had to pick, once I knew the list, I'd probably say Brian Keene. But V. Castro and Christopher Golden also jump out at me. But I went with it. I went in blind, essentially. Halloween stories, edited by a fantastic author Although it doesn't mean he's going to be a great editor, but I think he's proven himself. And Dan Brereton art, I was in. But which author perked up your ears? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. If you care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronan5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is ErikSmith5757. That's Eric with a K. ERIKSMITH 5757. Yeah, that's all I've got for you. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. That came out poorly. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Erik Smith. And until next time, read more books.